I am 32 and married to Daniel, 36, the sort of man who carries an extra umbrella in his trunk because the forecast once lied. We met at a rainy bus shelter on Mercer Street 5 years ago when I was still convinced that love should feel like fireworks, not like the steady drip of a gutter keeping you dry. I said yes to him partly because he stood there, sleeves soaked, and gave me the only dry spot. That seemed enough. I have always been the one who speaks first, laughs loudest, takes the last slice without asking. Daniel says nothing, just watches with that small, patient smile, the one I have started to forget to notice. Last Saturday, we are on the rooftop of the Broadview Hotel, downtown, for my cousin Leela's engagement brunch. The sky is the color of a new nickel, the kind of spring morning that smells like river water and fresh paint. I am wearing the yellow wrap dress Daniel picked out last week because he said it made me look like light. I hate the way the fabric clings when I sweat, but I wear it anyway, because it is easier than arguing. Daniel stands beside me holding 2 mimosas, his shoulders angled so the wind does not blow the orange slice off the rim. He has already greeted my aunt, carried folding chairs from the lobby, and fixed the crooked banner that reads Forever Starts Now. I have done nothing except complain that the strawberries are too cold. Across the rooftop, Leela's fiancé, Rowan, wipes his eyes while reading his toast. His voice cracks on the line about growing old together. I feel the ripple of collective tenderness move through the crowd. Then I hear my own voice, louder than I intend, say, honestly, if I had known he was this weepy, I would have told her to rethink the whole thing. Laughter sputters out of me, sharp and bright. A few people chuckle nervously. Daniel goes still. The glass in his hand trembles so slightly I almost miss it. He turns to me, right there in front of the cluster of cousins and the photographer. You think crying is weakness? He asks. His tone is flat, unfamiliar, because I have cried in front of you, Tara, more than once. And every time you rolled your eyes like I had handed you trash to carry. The rooftop hushes. Wind rattles the banner above us. Someone coughs. I feel heat crawl up my throat. I try to laugh again, softer, but it dies against my teeth. Daniel sets both mimosas on the nearest table, untouched. I am done being your reliable joke, he says. Then he walks to the stairwell and disappears down the steps. The door slaps shut behind him. I stand there, clutching the stem of my glass so hard the crystal squeaks. My cousin Mara raises an eyebrow. My mother looks at me the way she used to when I broke her porcelain doll's disappointment mixed with inevitability. I mutter something about Daniel being dramatic, then I chase after him, but the elevator is already descending. I watch the numbers drop like a countdown. He does not come home that night, or the next. I text him once, "Where are you?" and get back only the gray bubble of silence. I tell myself he is sulking, that he will be back once he remembers how much he hates folding his own socks. I microwave leftover Thai food and scroll Instagram, pausing on a photo Leela posted of her and Rowan kissing under fairy lights. Rowan is crying again, happy tears this time. I roll my eyes without thinking, then catch myself. On Tuesday, I drive to the community garden where Daniel volunteers after work, the one with the peeling green benches and the sign that says grow anyway. I bring iced coffee, too, because offering a drink used to fix everything between us. He is kneeling in the dirt, transplanting basil. His gloves are streaked brown, the same gloves I mocked last month for being grandpa chic. I hold out the coffee like a peace flag. I overreacted, I say, which is not the same as apologizing. But you stormed off in front of my entire family. People are asking questions. He does not take the coffee. I did not storm, he says quietly. I left before I said something cruel. He stands, wipes his hands on his jeans. I have been staying at the apartment above the bookstore. I need space. I feel a pinch of panic but cover it with sarcasm. Space? What are we, 19 and at summer camp? Daniel looks at me for a long moment. I asked you once after my dad died if you could just sit with me while I cried. You said, I told you I would never marry someone who cries. I laughed it off, but it lodged like a splinter. Every time I felt anything too big, I remembered that sentence. I open my mouth, then close it. I had said that word for word 2 weeks after the funeral when he leaked tears during a commercial about rescue dogs. I had meant it as a joke. I had meant a lot of things as jokes. The next day I try again. I send a voice memo, light and playful, about the new Thai place on 9th. No reply. I show up at the bookstore apartment with takeout pad Thai and a 6-pack of his favorite sour beer. He meets me on the sidewalk, does not invite me upstairs. He looks rested, showered, like a man who has been sleeping without my tossing beside him. I offer the food. He declines. I am filing for separation, he says. The words land between us like dropped bricks. I already spoke to a mediator. I laugh too loud. You're throwing away 5 years because of one bad joke. No, he says. I am choosing peace. You are welcome to the house. I moved my things out this morning. I drive home in a daze. Half the closet is empty, the bathroom shelf stripped to the studs. His favorite coffee mug, the chipped blue one from our trip to Lisbon, is gone. I sit on the edge of the bed and stare at the indent where his pillow used to be. For the first time, I feel the size of the silence he carried for years. Our friends divide like a fault line. At spin class, Jenna corners me by the lockers. You really said that about crying? She asks. Her voice is soft, but the question stings. Daniel was always gentle. Maybe gentle was never your thing. I want to defend myself, but the words taste like chalk. I start seeing a therapist, partly to prove I am trying, partly because nights in the house feel like walking through a museum of things I broke. The therapist asks me to list moments I dismissed Daniel's feelings. The list grows so long I run out of paper. 3 months later, I am on the pedestrian bridge over the river, watching geese land in formation, when my phone buzzes with a text from Leela. You might want to sit down, it says. Below the message is a photo Daniel on one knee, a small velvet box open toward my sister Mara. She is covering her mouth, eyes shining, the same way I once did when he asked me. The caption reads, he said he wanted to marry someone who isn't afraid of tears. I sit on the cold metal bench. My knees feel hollow. I scroll through more pictures, Mara's hand with the ring, the two of them kissing, her mascara smudged happy. People congratulate them in the comments. Someone writes, finally a love that lets him feel everything. I realize I am shaking. That night I drive past the bookstore. Their lights are on upstairs. I see Mara's silhouette against the window, her head on Daniel's shoulder. I wait for the familiar spike of anger, but it does not come. Only a thick, sour shame. I call Daniel. He answers on the second ring, voice calm. Tara, just my name, nothing more. I messed up, I say. The words feel small and late. I see that now. I was awful to you. I know, he says. Not unkind, just certain. Is this about revenge? I ask, adding how pathetic it sounds. No, he says, it is about finally choosing someone who sees me. I open my mouth to ask if we could meet if there is any chance, but he speaks first. Goodbye, Tara, the line clicks. I sit in the car until the windows fog. The radio plays a song we once danced to in our living room. I turn it off. I drive home to the half-empty house. The silence there is no longer neutral, it accuses. I leave the lights off, sit on the floor of the hallway, and for the first time since I was a child, I cry so hard my ribs hurt. No one comes to tell me it will be okay. No one ever will again.